Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we're going to be watching a couple videos. Alexander the Great versus Kai Cenat. The fight of the century, the bout that the masses are rejoicing for, that they are asking for, that they are wondering who is the greatest. Kai Cenat or Alexander the Great. No, this is a Alexander the Great versus Kai Cenat video in terms of exploring whether Nietzsche warned us about the last man and the last man being Kai Cenat. Okay. Why is this important? We are living in times where we are experiencing massive change. We are in times of crisis. We are living in times where people are more and more disconnected from one another, where people are questioning themselves, where people are questioning their surroundings but not finding no answers. Okay, here at Raw Instinct we are providing answers. We are telling you that the game is rigged, that the elites have allowed the world to be manipulated into them always winning, them being the house always wins, and the customers, the people playing in the casino, which is the normal people, they are losing. They're losing their money. They are not allowed to um, win when they find a strategy to win. The like, I mean, in a casino, when you play blackjack and you count cards, the people who run the casino will get the security and beat you up. And if you find a way, if you find a loophole to become successful, usually the government will come in and fuck you over. I am somebody who, for a very, very long time, tried to live society script. I'm somebody who, went to school, right? I'm of Punjabi origin. I am, I grew up in Germany. I went to school in England. Um, you know, I went to university. I got a corporate job. I climbed the corporate ladder. I done all the things that the world expected me to do. But I was taking instruction. And at some stage, I said to myself, I looked around and saw what was happening. I saw the bullshit life that this following instructions brings you. And I decided that I will not take part of it anymore. Okay. I decided that this game is rigged, that, the system is fucked, and that you need to get out of this shithole now before you end up depressed, lonely, which is what most people are these days. Okay. We live in a time of where there is a mental health crisis, where there is a um, crisis of depression, a crisis of meaning, where people don't know where to go, what to do, how to solve their issues, right? When they go online, when they try to seek answers, there are so many um, false prophets, false gurus trying to, monetize you, trying to give you false hope, false ideas, false beliefs to cling on. And I'm here to tell you that I've given up on that system. So what do you do instead? Right? Be like me. Be somebody who rejects the old system and decides to bring about something new. I'm here to establish a new system, a new game. I'm going to play by my own rules. I'm here to um, annoy all the current people at the top, all the old elites, the old establishment, and I'm here to bring about a new establishment. I'm here sending out a bat signal. I'm here assembling the Avengers. I'm here allowing you to begin your hero's journey. Okay. If you want to take part in, if you want to do something that is beyond yourself, bigger than yourself, if you've always thought that there is something that you should be doing with your life, something great in this world, this is your moment. Okay, reach out to me. We can work together. I'm building my kingdom, and I want you to become a king, and I want you to build your kingdom. Okay, when you have a kingdom, you are seen as a point of authority. When you are a king, you are seen as somebody who is a leader, and that is what the world needs. The world needs more leadership. The world needs more, authority, people with a vision, and every person is capable of bringing out their worldview into the world. However, it is down to you to decide whether you want to go on that journey or not. I'm here. I'm doing my part. Okay, I'm here to find 100 people. I'm here to find 100 people that want to work with me, want to become kings, to establish kingdoms. And if you want to be one of those people, great. And if not, then no, you can go and fuck yourself, right? Um, I don't know if you watched the video I posted the other day. It was a Dr. K video, and we were criticizing. We were going through his manipulative tactics that he uses on his followers. And somebody this morning, they messaged me saying like, "Oh, what great have you done in this world? What great have you done in this world? What Dr. K has done more to help his followers than you." Well, if he's helped his fucking followers, why has he given so much advice? Yet no one's coming forward, being like, "Okay, actually, yeah, Dr. K has helped me." Right? There's no people who's actually benefited and then gone on to do great things. Right? I'm here. I'm helping my people. Right? And once they get rid of their depression, once they get rid of their self-doubt, they're going to go start multi-billion-dollar companies, right? They're going to become billionaires. They're going to be coming up with new land, right? They're going to build new nations, right? The people who follow Dr. K, right, that they watch one video, that they might stop watching porn, right? And then like that, then that's it, right? Like they go back to their life. They go still they're still stuck in the system. They still don't get a girlfriend, right? They still can't get any semblance of happiness in their life, but at least they stop jerking off. All right, great, right? Like if your goals are that small, then you can stay that small. But that guy, it made me laugh, man. The guy was saying like, I've done nothing. I'm like, just watch, right? Like and hang on, I'm just seeing a comment come through, from Hidden Channel, good friend of the channel, Hidden Channel, almost 200 subs. Yep. You know what I mean? Like we're slowly building it. We're not looking for, millions of subscribers. We're looking for quality subscribers who are going to go and put in the work and do something about the current system. We are here to establish a new kingdom. We are here to establish new nations. And Hidden Channel gets it. He's somebody who's, has reached out to me. He's emailed me before. And, we know his current circumstances. He is building big things in the background. He is, I mean, if you need advice on somebody, how to be, become a Mog Maxer, somebody who is lifting heavy shit. He is lifting the world's problems on his shoulders. He is helping his followers, his people, to bring about new change. He knows what's up. He's a good friend of the channel. Okay. And like Hidden Channel is a good friend of the channel, and there's many more. Some people choose to remain anonymous. They do not want to be public facing, which is all good. They're doing big business in the background, and that's what we're all about here on Royal Instinct. We're here to help in any way we can. We're here to build in any way we can, and in the end, it is going to be us who will be the de facto rulers of the world. But let's jump into this video, okay? Let's jump into Kai Cenat being the last man. This is what Nietzsche warned us about when it was, Nietzsche, his whole philosophy is, the biggest takeaway that I got from reading Nietzsche was, the will to power, to become the Ubermensch or the Overman, the Superman, to go beyond your current limits, to go beyond what you currently are, your capabilities, the capabilities of humanity, to go beyond that and create something new. Live life by the beliefs that you choose to live by. Don't go off Christianity. Don't go off no religion, no philosophy, no doctrine, right? How do you want to live life, right? Like even if your philosophy in life is to just get money, fuck bitches, right? Which I'm all about, right? Like, you need to make a lot of money so you can live a life of freedom. And, like, don't you want to fuck hot girls? Like, look, you might be gay, but, we don't judge here at Royal Instinct. However, you know, don't you want to fuck the most beautiful people in the world, the most beautiful women in the world? You know, I encourage everyone here to become a king and start and have their own harem. You know, have a choice of 4 or 5 queens that they want to get through. You know, um, I wish personally, I wish that the whole world tomorrow just turns gay. Right, all the men in the world are gay, and there's only me, the only straight man. Right, I have to take that burden. Right, so I can't fuck everyone, but I'll fuck, you know, all the 9s and 10s line up over here, right? Okay, I'll impregnate you. Why not? You know, me and, you know, hidden channel 3902. You know, it'll be us two. You know, together, just, you know, having to do God's work. But yeah, like, you know, going back to Nietzsche, you know, like becoming the Ubermensch. You know, follow your own desires, follow your own doctrine. Like, look, at the end of the day, look, I'm going to name myself king of the world, right? I'm going to build my own kingdom. Am I going to fucking become someone like Jeffrey Epstein? Fuck no. Okay, like, I think that's disgusting. You know, I'm a very empathetic person, right? Like, I really want to look after humanity. However, I don't trust nobody else to do it on my behalf. So therefore, I'm going to have to take control. I'm going to have to take my destiny into my own hands, because I'm the only person that I trust, right? Me and the fellow people here at Royal Instinct, the Amicis that we're building, the group of friends, the group of royals, the King's Alliance that we're building. We are here. We are not going anywhere, and we will be successful, right? But let's jump into this video.
You can use... Kai Cenat is a living, breathing nightmare that Friedrich Nietzsche spent his entire life trying to warn humanity about.
When you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you.
Some people see Kai as lucky, a wildly successful, ambitious, self-improving. Others say he's performative, a try-hard, even copying...
So a big thing about Kai Cenat at the moment is that he decided to quit live streaming. And he is, you know, he started the whole self-improvement channel to try and become more articulate, more well-read, to try and become a better communicator. Because, you know, I don't know much about the guy personally, right? But I believe he grew up in, you know, a low-income household. You know, like he's indoctrinated into black culture. You know, he's not well educated, but he wants to become that, right? He's a multimillionaire. He's done well for himself, right? And the reason why he done well for himself, even because he's not educated, even because many people say he's dumb, is because he took a risk, right? He started live streaming. He started playing video games online, and it turned into something. He decided to take a risk. And sometimes in life, you just need to take that risk and see where that risk leads you. Okay, which is why here we are Royal Instinct. We are taking risks every day. I'm getting hate comments every day. I'm here getting many targets on my back, but I don't give a fuck about it, right? I'm looking for the people who understand what I'm saying, because there's always going to be people around who want to fuck with you, who want to build with you, who want to, you know, who understand what it is that you're doing, right? And sometimes you, like, it doesn't need to be clear what the fuck that person's doing. Sometimes you hear a song and you're like, oh, I understand what that guy is trying to produce in his music, right? And, you know, sometimes you can't even go off fucking language. You have to be off vibes, okay? And here at Royal Instinct, we are just assembling the people who are like-minded, who have the same belief system, who are trying to change the world, try to do something better. And, you know, Kai Cenat, you know, he's someone who put himself out there, and he got all the rewards for it. And my challenge to you is, right, you're probably much more educated than that guy. You're smarter than him, okay? And even if you're not book smart, you know more shit. You have more life experience. You're just better suited to be a multimillionaire than Kai Cenat. However, all he done was he's probably too stupid to understand what the fuck he's doing, right? So he's just too dumb to understand that this is quite risky. So he just does it, which is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Look it up, which is basically you're just too stupid to understand the future risks and the past mistakes that you have made. So then you just don't feel anything, okay? You just like, oh, well, I guess I'll just do this now. And Kai Cenat fell into it, and he made a success of it, right? What I'm saying is people who with expert knowledge with life purposes need to come together. We need to find out what your life purpose is, and it should be us ruling the world. It should be us making all this shit money. It should be us instead of Kai Cenat. Okay, but let's jump back into the video.
Kanye's whole aura, but I see something way darker. I see the exact cultural disease that Nietzsche diagnosed over 100 years ago, fully realized and optimized for the internet age. He is Friedrich Nietzsche's worst fear to me right now.
Tonight, charges filed against a social media star for allegedly sparking a massive riot in Manhattan's Union Square, leading to 65 arrests and multiple injuries.
You have to pull up.
2 days before the incident, he posted online that he was going to be holding a giveaway.
We gonna ask y'all.
This is what I mean. This is how dumb this guy is, right? Like he decides to hold a giveaway. Okay, he knows he's fucking famous. He knows he's got millions of followers. He knows most of the audience are fucking dying to get a freebie, and without any security, without any fucking planning, he just went in and announced that he's going to hold this fucking giveaway, and it turned into utter chaos. It turned into you know, a national incident, a state incident. The headline here is influence charged with inciting a riot. He incited a riot, okay, because of his stupidity of understanding his actual influence. You know, sometimes it's better to be that stupid, right? If you're fucking got self-doubt, if you have fears, you're better off just not listening to that, being too stupid to understand what you're doing, right? Just go into something, right? Put yourself out there and see what the fuck happens, right? You'll gain more knowledge, and then you'll be able to reflect back and understand what it is that you fucking did. However, most people watching my content aren't idiots. They aren't stupid like Kai Cenat's audience. They are more likely to be worried and overthinking what it is that they're doing. And what I'm telling you is to challenge yourself and just to throw yourself into it, into what you believe, what you think is the right thing, and try it out. You know, just start live streaming every day, 10 minutes, and just see what the fuck happens, right? Somebody might comment to you, somebody might message you with a new idea, a new perspective, which will change the trajectory of your life. But yeah, also hidden channel 3902, I'm going to call you Z. You know why. So Z. I also sent you an email. I don't know if you've seen it yet. You know, check it out. Let me know what you think. But yeah, let's jump back into this video.
Random questions, bro. If you get it right, boom, you get a PS5, just like that.
A promise of gaming consoles, gear, and $100 gift cards. The NYPD saying the crowds, made up of mostly underage kids, went from unruly to violent fast.
And look, that's a low quality of subscribers that Kai Cenat's getting. You know, the people who turn up and start fucking behaving antisocially, behaving like fucking hobos, you know, rioting in the streets. You know, like here at Raw Instinct, we're accumulating a higher quality of subs. You know, like, you know, he's saying I'm almost at 100 subs, which is great. You know, but like I rather those 100 subs and like it will stop at 100 subs, right? I'll rather it just stop there, and all those 100 subs reach out to me and worked with me, right? Like I don't need to keep going, right? I'm just looking for 100 people to work with, right? So the subs don't mean nothing. It's only the people who come in and decide to work with me, and we are building together to, you know, when shit hits the fan, when the World Economic Forum gets their you know, implement their ideas, when they start, you know, financial crashes, when they start 15-minute cities, when the digital IDs come into place, you know, and they start surveilling everyone, that we are protected, that we are in our safe islands, in our safe castles, away from all the bullshit that most people have to deal with.
You might think that was chaotic, but it is literally the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Kai sent his signal to pop up, and thousands of people responded in violent way. No thought process in between. No one asking themselves, should I do this? Is it safe? Or what are the consequences? None of that exists. The signal came and the herd moved like a flock.
And most people who are doing this, they aren't overthinkers. They think short term. They are overly emotional. They think impulsively. you know, that they can't think 3, 4, 5 years into the future and see what's about to go on, right? Like literally, you know, all you gotta do is just go onto the World Economic Forum's website and see what the plan is for the Agenda 2030 and how that will impact their lives. How will a 15-minute city impact your life? How will digital central bank digital currencies impact your life? How will, you know, the oncoming AI apocalypse that we're about to experience impact your life? And most people can't see into the future. Most people are like, oh well, that's so far away. I'm just gonna fucking watch Kai Cenat drink a milkshake. You know, most people don't have the intelligence that you have, right? And because they don't have the intelligence that you have, you should be living a better life by default. Here at Raw Instinct, I'm helping my people, my followers, my clients help become subject matter experts. I'm helping them become something that, you know, where they are in their zone of genius, where they are in their, you know, following their passions, becoming really, really highly skilled in that, where they, until the point they are seen as a point of authority and they become de facto leaders, because the world needs more leaders than what currently is on offer.
Of sheep. Nietzsche had this concept called herd morality. Basically what it means is that people don't actually think for themselves anymore about right and wrong. They just do whatever keeps the group comfortable and happy. The herd wants to belong to something. They want entertainment, they want safety, and they'll throw away any principle they claim to have if it gets in the way of those things. So when Kai says pop out, the herd doesn't think. They just move. Because thinking means individual responsibility, and the herd doesn't want that weight. They want someone to follow, someone who makes them feel part of something bigger. And Kai is
because most people are followers. Most people don't have the ambition. Most people don't have the foresight to do what we do here at Raw Instinct. They don't understand, you know, that the only way to protect ourselves is to become the new rulers of the world. Because, you know, even the rules that we have right now, the people in charge, you know, they are either robbing the country blind, okay, they are selling off the assets, or they are, you know, like I'm going to do a AI video breaking down a Sam Altman video where he literally says that, you know, AI is capable of releasing a bioweapon upon the population of the earth onto the world. However, AI is also the solution. Well, if AI is a fucking problem in the first place, we don't need a solution if we just cut off the legs of the problem. Okay. But no, right? Because Sam Altman's end game is to unleash AI onto everyone, right? Make it so smart that it's operating at a higher intelligence level than the humans, which it won't get, but that's what he hopes to accomplish. And then he wants to basically crown AI God, and he wants to fucking serve AI as a god on earth. Okay. And because he's the one who invented it, he wants to be the person who's also be like a priest, I guess, right? He's trying to basically fuck humans over for his AI god. And I'm saying I never subscribed to AI. I never voted it in. Did you vote it in? Right? When if this technology is going to take over all these people's jobs, like, shouldn't we have a fucking say in it? Right? But no, because we are seen as slaves, we are seen as outside the system, we are seen as the lower classes. And I'm like, well, okay, if that's how you fucking see me, two middle fingers to you, right? Fuck you, suck my dick. And instead, I am going to create my own system. I am finding the right people to join me to build a new and better nation, a new and better world. And when we reach the apex, when we reach the top of the mountain, we will be living lives of luxury, and we will dictate the new state of the world.
Perfect for this because he represents pure spectacle and chaos. Just entertainment in its rawest form. And Mafiathon 3 is where you see this at full scale.
We are here! W's in the chat, can y'all talk? Can y'all? Chat, we are officially in Mafiathon 3. Round of applause.
Mafiathon 3 ran for an entire month, and millions of people actually rearranged their days just to watch this one guy existing on camera. And the wild part is most of them could not even explain why they cared that much. What's odd is that most of the time nothing special was even happening. Kai wasn't working toward a big ending or some final payoff. He was just there, doing regular stuff like talking, reacting, and living his life on camera. He was just begging for subs most of the time.
With another 100. I want to see the most intense sub battle of all time. How can we do a sub war? How can we do a sub war, Chad? The first 30 minutes of me taking a shower, it is called Dirty 30. Where while I'm in the shower, if you guys sub up, you guys can make me more dirty.
And somehow that was enough to keep millions of people locked in. This is what Nietzsche called the last man. The last man doesn't really want to struggle toward anything anymore, not because they are bad people, but because struggle feels exhausting. They want comfort. They want something that fills the time. They want to feel connected with.
Yeah, man, the world is a tough place at the moment, and people, they can't deal with reality, which is why they are mindlessly doom scrolling on their chosen social media platform, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever the fuck it is. And because they can't deal with reality, it is leading them to be taken over, to be brainwashed by these lower inspirational, lower intelligence people like Kai.
Without having to risk much or change anything about their own lives.
Now you only said that because what? He also, I said I'll put 30,000 on his fucking head because he said he's gonna kidnap me. And I said, fuck up. You said that in the car. 30,000 on my head. Right now, and I'm gonna kill.
Like, is this how civilized people fucking talk to each other? Right? Like, is that how a king speaks? Right? If you were a king, would you allow your court, your advisors, your friends around you to talk like that? No. Okay. Which is why, like, I don't want to associate with people like that. I don't want to be in a room where people shout, they get emotional and they're just shouting. Nah, man, let's have calm conversations. Let's be chill. Let's discuss big problems. Like, he's talking about being kidnapped. It's like, all right, if I was to get kidnapped, I'll get one of my soldiers to go fucking sort them out. Done. Right? Don't fucking be stressed. Don't be high cortisol like these people jumping up and down. I mean, look, they're just wearing shorts, right? Like no style, wife beaters. They're dressed like they just woke fucking up. Okay. And they get thousands, millions of views, right? They're making millions of dollars. While somebody as intelligent as you, more worthy than them, is overthinking what to do, or what should I say? How should I make content? Right? What should I make this business deal? Should I make this? Should I start this business? Right? While you're busy in analysis paralysis, these guys are just being fucking emotional dickheads online, and they are winning. Okay, it should be us that is winning. I want you to win. I want you to eliminate all self-doubt, eliminate all fears, and become the king that you were born to be.
You right now, if you put the world think you allow you to do things. You put my big blessing. What you talking about, nigga? I don't allow.
I mean, come on. Is this how you want to run your kingdom? Is this how you want to run your court? Okay, like, my answer is no. Right, and it should be us in his place.
How about this? To the Diddy part, I'm the new Diddy. What? Yo, let me know. Hell yeah.
This guy's literally in his fucking underwear. He's literally in a wife beater. He's not even wearing socks. He's got his fucking toes out. He probably smells of BO. He hasn't washed. He hasn't showered. It's just disgusting. And why are people watching this? Can we see I don't know if that's the view count there. 162,000 viewers. I don't know, man. I'm saying, it should be a hidden channel. It should be me. It should be us here at Raw Instinct, not these pathetic losers.
A new Diddy with all no. Bro, I'm not talking.
And content.
Like, do you see me fucking screaming like Kai? Like no, like this is a very, like we're not emotional idiots like this guy here. Okay, so why is he winning? This is what the end game This is why Nietzsche warned us about the last man, the one who is driven by his impulses, driven by his emotional needs, his inability to stay calm under pressure, his inability to make decisions unemotionally, rationally. Okay, like we're here finding 100 people. That's all it takes. Is 100 people of high intelligence, high talent, highly talented people who all come together, and we can overthrow these people, right? And we got to do it quick. Okay, like we got to do it. It's 2026, right? By the end of the year, by the end of next year, right? It's like in the next 2-3 years, we got to do it quick, and it will be us on top. Everybody will be watching us. People will be tuning into your live stream.
Like this fits perfectly into that mindset. It gives you noise, energy, and a sense of being part of something without asking you to change anything about your own life. You just stay there and let that degenerated stuff keep going. And Mafiathon 3 is basically a 30-day machine built for exactly that. I'm not saying Kai is the last man. I'm saying he's the thing that makes the last man.
He is the last man. Let's not beat around the bush. He is the last man. He is the person who will allow the last men. He is the leader of the last men. And if you take out the leader, then the last man will follow.
And feel like they're actually doing something with their life. He's the machine. But here's the thing about this machine. It doesn't just keep you entertained, it asks for stuff back. Just like Kai begging for money and subs from his 10-year-old fan base. And after all that,
imagine that. He's begging money from children. Is that right? Do you believe that is right? Like they're literally children, no money, no income, right? They're probably poor backgrounds as well. And he's begging them to send in donations into his live stream. It's like, you know what I mean? It's unregulated. It is sick. You know, we should not allow this to happen. We should not allow people like this to be as successful as they are. Literally ripping off little children.
he did something nobody expected.
I feel like sometimes people need to self-reflect and take a step back from the broad perspective of what their life has been. I believe that there is more to this world that is much greater than myself.
Basically, he went to Italy and he quit overthinking to work on its clothing company.
That is why I quit.
People were genuinely angry about it. Like, if you truly quit something, you don't need to make a big production out of it.
And that is a great point. Why did Kai Cenat make that video? Because he is playing a character. He is not being himself. He is being somebody who is trying to portray himself to be something greater than he is. Here at Raw Instinct, we are ourselves. We reconnect with our shadows. We reconnect with our true nature. And everything that we do is never performative. It is who we are because we are of royal descent.
The internet cooked him completely. Performative final boss. Skip to the end and it's just a clickbait ad for his new clothing brand.
And he's trying to be a fashion genius, right? Because he's made so much money that he can invest into it. He doesn't have the talent for it. He doesn't have the creativity to accomplish it. People will be shitting on it and you will see him return back to the same shit. You know, this is my prediction, right? This is my prediction that his clothing line will fail, right? But as it's failing, he will return back to live streaming to continue making that money, to continue milking his fans. Let's jump into this other video about Alexander.
Alexander the Great, one of the greatest conquerors who ever lived. And in it are some of the greatest tactics that I have ever heard for leadership. I mean, this entire book is just a leadership masterclass. First off though, in case you don't know that much about Alexander, he started off inheriting a small kingdom called Macedon when he was only 20 years old. For the next decade, he would conquer Persia, create his own city, Alexandria, and build an empire that stretched from Greece all the way to India. And on top of all of this, throughout his entire campaign, he never once lost a major battle. To be honest, aside from a couple skirmishes here and there, he's practically undefeated. He's like the Khabib of conquerors.
And remember that, you know, Alexander the Great, as great as he was also already a prince. So regardless, he was always going to be king of Macedonia. However, from that base, from that foundation, he was able to launch a mass attack onto the world, onto other countries, and conquer all the known world and the unknown world. You know, here at Raw Instinct, we come, you know, it doesn't matter if you come from humble beginnings, if you had no chance at success in life, here we use that to our advantage and we go forth, we conquer new lands, which is what I am doing here, which is what I want you to do. We want to build new nations, build new kingdoms, come together so we can fight side by side when the time comes against the oncoming onslaught, onto the oncoming economic collapse, the financial collapse. And when there's nobody else to turn to, when there's nowhere else to go, we will open our kingdoms to the people for them to seek shelter.
What's so interesting about Alexander is not just what he did, but it's how he was able to do what he did. He was one of the most remarkable leaders in history, and after reading this book, I completely understand why. This book is filled with principles, stories, and explanations for how Alexander was able to be the leader that he was, the leader that literally took over the world. So what I did was I broke this book down into 9 leadership principles that you can use in your work, in your organization, in your army, whatever it is, you can use it, because his life has some of the most valuable lessons that I've ever heard. So with that said, let's just get into the first principle. Okay, we're gonna go straight into a battle where Alexander's army is about to face this other army and they're just out of range. The book says, just before they were in range of enemy arrows, Alexander halted his army and rode down the entire Macedonian line, encouraging his men. He not only cheered on his generals and officers, but the common soldiers as well. He called these by name and reminded them of their bravery in past battles. Alexander then ordered them to advance at a run as he turned his horse toward the river and led them into battle. He led them into battle. Always. This is one of Alexander's.
Yeah, and that is what great leaders do. They are the ones at the leading the lines. They are the ones leading the charge against the enemies. A lot of the time, what you will see now is in war, modern warfare. Yeah, even like someone like Vladimir Putin, whether you think of him, he is not at the front line. He is back at the Kremlin, giving orders, and his soldiers are, you know, executing his plan, or not even his plan, right? He is just the person at the top. He is a king of Russia, the Tsar of Russia in a sense, and he is allowing his commanders, his advisors to make the decisions on his behalf, and he reaps all the reward, which is a position that I want you to be in. Build your kingdom, get your group of advisors together, and allow them to make decisions on your behalf.
Best leadership traits, it's one of his most admirable traits that he was always the one leading his men into battle. And when I say that, I don't mean that he was leading from the sidelines or from the back, but he was literally in the front lines, sometimes fighting hand-to-hand combat with the enemy. He got hurt so many times in this book doing that. Against the Persians, the book says, Ruthless, who rode at the king and struck him so hard on his head with his sword that his helmet split in two. The king was stunned by the blow. A very similar thing also happens at the city of Tyre, where the Macedonian army finally gets into the city and they blow this hole in the gates. And here's what the book says. Men continued to pour into the hole, including Alexander himself was the first on top of the city walls. Alexander himself led the charge against them and killed all the defenders. First one on top of the city walls. Again, in Gaza, the exact same thing. Alexander could not help but rush to the front lines of the fight. He was almost immediately hit by an arrow fired from a catapult that pierced his shield and went straight through his armor into his shoulder. The king cursed his luck but ordered the wound be dressed and continued the fight, at least until he collapsed unconscious from loss of blood. And just to give one more example to really push this point, the book says, and this is against the Sogdians, by the way, many of the king's soldiers were injured, including Alexander himself, who suffered a shot in the right leg that broke his fibula. His physicians patched the wound as best they could. Then the king struggled back to the mountain and directed the fight until his men finally took the high ground. Throughout the book, you just constantly see Alexander fighting in the front lines, in the middle of the danger, side by side with the soldiers, and this is a super important leader.
At the same time, there's something very important I want you to know. These accounts written by Alexander the Great, his people, you know, writers at the time, we cannot verify this because was it propaganda? Was it seen that Alexander the Great was right at the front line when he really wasn't? Maybe he was at the back. Okay, maybe he was not at the front line, right? Maybe he was hiding at the back, because you don't know that. Okay, you know, the library of Alexandria, which was burnt down, was created by Alexander the Great. And a lot of the accounts, it was propaganda to make Alexander the Great be more of a hero than he actually was. Okay, so I don't want you to be intimidated by his story, his legacy. I want you to be like, right? Like you have to do it your own way, okay? And a lot of the time, you can get other people to fight your battles for you, and you can collect all the rewards for it because you are the leader. You are the main point of contact for that rebellion, for that battle, for your troops.
Leadership principle. If you want to be a great leader, you cannot lead from the back. You have to lead from the front. You need to constantly be putting yourself at the front lines.
It's not true. Look at Putin. Look at Donald Trump. Look at anybody who is in charge politically right now, and the people doing the work, doing the fighting are unknown soldiers who may die, who will get injured, live with psychological trauma for the rest of their life, while the people in power are nowhere near the battlefield.
To make sure that your soldiers know that you are right there with them, that they're not suffering alone. By doing this, the army will fight twice as hard, and you see this over and over again in history. From Joan of Arc, who would charge the city walls with the men, to Napoleon, who would position cannons himself in the midst of battle, to Sam Zamuri, who literally walked the plantations himself in the mid-Americas running his banana company, to even modern examples like Elon Musk, who during sprints can be seen.
Okay, all this bullshit is about to talk about Elon Musk. I don't believe it for 1 second. Elon Musk is the biggest hirer of public relations, PR. He has a PR management team. They try to curate his image, and all this is bullshit.
Sleeping on the factory floor.
He does not sleep on the factory floor. He is playing video games. He goes in, he probably just fucking some escort in his office while he pretends that he's working. And people are like, oh, he spends 100+ hours at the office. He's like, yeah, he's probably just asleep, because when he's away from the office, he's fucking all the escorts.
Or Jensen Huang, who stays at the office until midnight many days. The point is that if your troops or your employees or your followers see that you are doing fine while they're struggling, they will never truly follow you. The people who are following you, they have to see that you are right there with them, that you are suffering with them, that you are side by side with them, and that you actually believe in the cause that they're fighting for. Being a leader means that you have to be the one to lead. At one point in Alexander's life, they're in Persia and they have to go over these mountains to conquer these mountain tribes, and it's just a super slick and wet terrain. The men are tired and they start asking Alexander to turn around and go back, and what Alexander does is just incredible. I mean, this paragraph just shows how great of a leader he was, how inspired his men were to follow him through his actions. Instead of berating his frightened men, the king jumped down from his horse and pressed ahead up the trail by himself over snow and slippery patches of ice. He took a pick and broke up the ice covering the path as he made his way forward. All his men watched and were filled with shame. First his friends joined him in blazing the trail, then his officers, and finally the rest of his soldiers. This is what being a leader means. It means you being the one to lead the soldiers or the organization into the hardest of scenarios. That's exactly what Alexander did. Every time his soldiers or his army were about to give up, they wanted to turn around and things were getting hard, Alexander was right there at the front lines with them, continuing to push forward every single time. If he turned around and he just left, the army would have followed him, and that would have been it. But he didn't. He was always the one in front, fighting at the front lines side by side with his soldiers, and this is super important. If you want to be a great leader, you have to lead from the front lines. This is a big one. Too many people in the modern day are so shy and they're so timid. They're not really free to speak their mind, and it just creates a sort of aura.
And the reason people aren't willing to speak their mind, the reason people are timid, is because they have self-doubt. They've been told a certain thing about the world. They've been programmed to never question authority. They've been programmed to never be allowed to express themselves in the world, and they end up becoming depressed. They end up becoming turning self-hate towards them, depressing themselves, creating social anxiety within themselves. And here at Raw Instinct, we allow ourselves to express ourselves. We become people who are never depressed, who eliminate their self-doubt, their negative thinking, their fears. We destroy all that and we move forward. Because think about it, if all that is holding you back is your self-doubts, right, and your fears, once you get rid of that, you are literally just free to just, it's like a weight off your shoulders. You're just free to move forward and to accomplish all the goals that you ever had in your life.
of unsureness. When they try to lead, it always ends up a disaster because no one wants to follow a leader who's unsure of themselves, or who even seems unsure of themselves. People are inspired by boldness, and so if you want to be a good leader, then you have to be bold in your actions. Alexander was bold ever since he was a child, and at one point in the book, there was this horse that his dad, who was the king at the time, his name was Philip, he couldn't control the horse, and so he told the horse to be taken away. Here's what the book says. Philip ordered the animal be taken away, but Alexander confronted his father and proclaimed he was losing a priceless stallion because he lacked the courage and skill to manage him. The king was not used to being chastised before his men, especially by his young son, but Alexander was beside himself with frustration and repeated his charge. Philip was angry now and glared at his son with his eye. Are you fool enough to criticize your elders? Do you really think you know horse?
Yeah, you have to understand is like the reason Alexander the Great was allowed to do that, he had the courage to do that, is because he was always treated like a prince. He was always treated as some of royal descent. Okay, so a lot of people treated him as better than themselves, better than everyone around him, even though he was a child. So he already had that self-confidence, that self-assuredness to do something so bold, even if it wasn't from his father. Because apart from his dad, who else is there that is greater than the second in line to the throne, the prince, the future prince of Macedonia? So, you know, you cannot compare yourself to him. You have to go your own path. You have to get rid of that negative thoughts about yourself. You have that the things that are holding you back. You know, Alexander the Great, by his mother, was told that he was his father was Hercules, or Zeus. Sorry, his father was Zeus. That he is a descendant of the gods, not just a mere mortal king. Okay, so he already in his head was brainwashed to become greater than he was. And here at Raw Instinct, we remove the negativity inside your head to become greater than you, to unleash the power, the great insight that you have within yourself, and to establish a kingdom.
Horses better than we do. Alexander said, this horse at least, I can handle him better than any man alive. Oh really? And if you can't, what penalty are you willing to pay for your rashness? I will pay the whole price of the horse. Even Philip couldn't help but admire the bravado of his son and laughed along with his nobles at such youthful arrogance, but he agreed to the bargain and told his groomsmen to lead the horse to Alexander. This is one of my favorite stories in the entire book, and it's what extreme boldness looks like. But it wasn't reckless, it was calculated. What Alexander had noticed is that the horse seemed to be afraid of its own shadow, so what he did when he got the horse was he took it and he led it towards the sun so that he couldn't see the shadow. Then he slowly took the reins and began to control it. Here's what the book says. Everyone was terrified that the prince would be killed, but Alexander and Bucephalus raced far away from the crowd and back at last towards his father. A great cheer went up from all assembled, and Philip, bursting with pride, shed tears of joy and kissed his son as he dismounted. He then embraced Alexander and prophetically declared, "My son, you must seek out a kingdom equal to yourself. Macedonia is not big enough for you." This moment ended up becoming a legend for Alexander, and it made people want to follow him. It was this boldness and this confidence in his abilities to do something. Keep in mind that he inherited the kingdom when he was 20 years old. So
Exactly. I mean, he was born into royalty. He was already of royal descent. And I want you to embrace your royal descent here by eliminating your self-doubt, by going forward without any fears or anything holding you back, unleashing your full inner confidence, your full inner kingly instincts that we here unleash on Royal Instinct. Become part of the Nietzsches, become part of the crew, become part of the Avengers. We are the future heroes of the world, and I want you to be the leader of it. Let's jump back into the Kai Cenat video.
Then right after all that noise, Kai does something interesting.
For the past few weeks, I have been uploading videos to my secret channel this entire time. And if you guys want to see what I've been going on, click the top link in the description. It's called Kai's Mind.
What a surprise. He already had a secret channel this whole time. And it's pretty cool that he already uploaded 85 videos of him trying to improve himself.
Spontaneity. How do I pronounce that?
So this guy can't even pronounce spontaneity, yet he is living a better life than you could ever dream of. Do you think that is fair? Okay, if the marker of success is to pronounce the word spontaneity, right, are you able to do that? Do it right now in your room. say the word spontaneity. If you can say it, right, I now crown you king of your kingdom. Right? But truthfully speaking, it's like, you know, this guy can't even fucking read. He is illiterate. He is dyslexic. He is all those things. And you know, he is somebody living a multi-millionaire life, right? So what's your excuse, right? If he has all these problems in his life, if he has all these issues, if you can't even say the fucking word properly, right? What is your excuse for not being as rich as him, right? You not being in your life purpose. Why are you not making the most of your circumstances?
Honestly, the reason why I started reading was because I didn't like the way I spoke. To be honest, I wanted to articulate myself better, because I want to improve and articulate myself better. I am reading to articulate myself better. Another 20 minutes of this book so I can get better at articulating myself.
His reading had become a laughingstock for everyone. In an era where seeking knowledge is a joke. It's kind of true, isn't it? If someone really trying to articulate themselves into a better person, who am I to talk shit? But here's what gets me. The whole point of self-improvement is that it's supposed to be quiet. It's supposed to be stuff nobody sees. But Kai is filming all of it.
He's literally turning his self-improvement journey into a content-making machine. So he's like, oh, look what I learned today. It's like, yeah, that's great. Here at Raw Instinct, we don't buy into self-improvement. We look into what we naturally are gifted at, what we naturally are inclined to, you know, enjoy, what we are naturally inclined to explore, what we find passionate, what we find interesting, and we explore that to develop subject matter expertise in that film. Once we become subject matter expert, it is easy for us to establish authority around that subject, become seen, become global icons in that field, in the world. And when we become global icons, when we are a point of authority, it is natural for us to form our kingdoms, to crown ourselves kings, and watch the world unfold in front of us. We will live lives of luxury. We will be living the best lives. That is what I want for you. That is what we here at Raw Instinct do. We are partying up with each other. We are partying with the Royal Alliance of Kings. I want you to join it. Let me know if you want to take part.
He's putting a camera on the most private version of himself and uploading it for millions of people. This is what Nietzsche described as the costume. It basically means people look like they're becoming better versions of themselves on the outside, but nothing underneath is actually changing. This MF never finished a book in his life. Remember LeBron trying to convince everyone he read books? Must be something with the Nike contract. I genuinely don't know if Kai is actually changing or if he just figured out a new way to milk more money. Funny part is, Nietzsche warned this behavior a century ago. He did not call them liars. He said they were.
And here everyone is saying we are not going after money. Money naturally comes to us because we are kings, and that is where money flows to. Money flows to the most higher status people in its vicinity. We are more interested in with uncovering new knowledge by being in our life purpose, by uncovering our zone of genius, and the new information that we bring forward, the new insight that we bring will make us natural authorities of people. And once we are in leadership positions, once we are the leaders of men, it is only rightful that money will go to those people. Okay, so don't concern yourself with money. Don't worry about that. Just make sure that you align everything within yourself. You remove that self-doubt, and everything inside you is aligned to go forth and explore your passions, your life purpose. And from there, everything else will click into place and you will live that life that you always wanted to.
Wearing a costume. Once you hit record, real change and perform change look exactly the same on screen. But the costume goes even deeper than being performative on screen, because there is one more layer, and I think this is actually the darkest part of the whole picture. Kai Cenat announced his new clothing brand Vivette before building the schools in Africa.
The foundation raised 1.2 million. Mafiathon 2 funds raised that we did was 976,000. And yeah, we need a total investment of 5 million to get us through the first day of class. Like that's like to get to.
Kai raised over $1 million for a school in Nigeria. That's real. The project is still going. They said it takes at least 2 years to finish. But right around the same time that school is being built, he also launches his own clothing brand. And by itself, that doesn't sound like a huge deal. People can do more than one thing at the same time, right? But there's this idea that goes way back in psychology called moral licensing. What that basically means is that when you do one big, visible, good thing, your brain starts using that as proof that you're a good person. And once you have that proof, everything else you do after gets a free pass. This is where it connects back to the costume, because Nietzsche wasn't just warning about people faking self-improvement. He was warning about people who use real good deeds as a costume. You built a school, so launching a brand feels fine now.
And you see that with many people who are famous, many people who are billionaires, many people who are very rich, and they do all these fake philanthropy things. They become philanthropists. That Bill Gates is a good example, right? The Bill and Melinda Foundation is a philanthropic endeavor, a foundation that makes charitable donations, whatever, right? And then Bill Gates is the fucking Epstein files. Right, like he is in the Epstein files. He is there asking Jeffrey for fucking medicine so he can slip it to Melinda. So because he caught an STD of a Russian hooker, it's like what? Like these are the people who are in charge. These are the people who are the leaders of you, right? Like, while you sit in your room, while you are doing fuck all with your life, okay, while you are not. While you are struggling in your life, right? While you are unhappy and depressed with your life, right? These people are there. Fucking hookers on islands, and then pretending that they do charitable contributions, while it's really just money that they're investing via tax breaks to gain more influence in the world, while you are unhappy and struggling in your life, right? Become somebody who is living their best life, somebody who is living a life of influence, becoming somebody who is seen as a king, which is what this channel is all about. Let me know how you want to do it. Let me know what your zone of genius is. What are you passionate about? Let me know, and we can find out a way to turn you into a king.
You donated, so making money off your name doesn't look like greed anymore. The one good thing becomes the shield that covers everything else. So here's where all of this lands. A guy who died in 1900 basically wrote the blueprint for all of this before any of it existed. Look, I don't hate Kai. I don't even watch his streams. He's probably one of the biggest streamers out there right now. But that's exactly why this matters. Because what Nietzsche was warning us about wasn't just about one person. It was about what happens when millions of people stop thinking for themselves. When they trade real growth for the performance of it. When they let spectacle replace purpose. Kai isn't the problem. He is the symptom. The real question is, are you part of the herd?
Yes, he is a symptom, and why are you allowing him to win? It should be you in his place, right? The stage is set for you to come in and win. The stage is set for you to come and take your crown, to crown yourself, to establish your kingdom. If you want to be that person, if you want to be the person in charge of your own destiny, it should be you. You have to decide to take the responsibility onto your shoulders, and whether you want to be that leader that the world needs, okay? And that decision is yours. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to beg you to join, right? I'd rather you fucking turn off and fuck off, right? I'd rather just allow this channel to be the private corner of the internet for the people who understand what it is that I'm doing, who understand what it is that I'm saying, who want to be a part of what I'm doing, and become somebody of influence, become somebody who wants to establish a kingdom. We are here coming up with new creative ideas how to save the world. We are coming up with new and creative ideas to new energy sources to power the world, to stop our reliance on fossil fuels. And to do that, we need to bring together the geniuses of the world. We need to bring together people who are in the zone of geniuses, who have creative new solutions, new ideas, and we will be victorious.
That just moves when the signal comes? Or are you actually thinking about what you are consuming and why? Let me know what you think in the comments. And before we wrap things up,
and let's finally jump back into
to be extremely bold and confident, to have all these veterans and these older soldiers want to follow you. Without Alexander's boldness during this horse example, he would have never had that legend be made. And even though they all laughed at him at first, they then respected him. And
you need to be somebody who carves their own legend. You need to be somebody who takes control of your own narrative. Don't allow other people to say shit about you. Create your own narrative, carve your own narrative, present the identity, the values that you believe in, that you want to bring about, that you want people to know you for. And that way you get to implement the ideas of your kingdom, of your divinity, of your raw instinct inside of you. Be somebody who is known for being a good person, somebody who is known for being a benevolent king, a philosopher king. I want you to establish your kingdom and be in charge instead of all these frauds.
They even looked at him like, whoa, this guy has confidence. The point here is that in order to be a good leader, you have to be bold. Your words have to have a sort of punch to them. They need to sort of shock people. I mean, just think of who you would rather follow. Person A who says, okay, we're going to go and see if we can beat Persia. And if we beat Persia, then maybe we can go after India and see what we can do from there. Or person B who says, we are going to march east and conquer anyone and anything that is in our way until we reach the ends of the earth. Maybe.
And that is all the difference between you being successful and unsuccessful. Okay, it is your self-doubt, it is your timidness, it is your fears that block you from going forward. We are here at Raw Instinct. We are unleashing our full potential. We are going into our zone of genius and moving forward, and we are conquering land. We cannot be stopped. We cannot be contained. We cannot be put into a little box. We are the ones who will be in charge. We are the ones who will form new nations, and we will be the ones who will take over the world. If you understand what it is that I'm saying, if you understand what it is that I'm doing here at Raw Instinct, then I want you to join the Amicis, which is Italian for friends. You know, be around people who fully trust you, that you can fully trust, people who really have your back, people who think similar to you, people who believe similar to you, people who want to change the world just like you. Good people that you can trust, which is what we're here all about. Let me know if you want to be part of that. That is what I work with my clients with, and we become great friends. We have great parties. We are living lives of luxury. But that is it for today. I would love to hear from you, but yeah, goodbye. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.